I've got my man Ilnardo, aka Ivan, who is jumping on stage with me, and he's going to be here. We're going to talk about the MLOps community. A lot of people have been wondering what exactly it is and what we're doing with the MLOps community. So feel free to ask us any questions right now. We wanted to do it a little bit different, where it's just going to be Ivan and I asking each other questions, and then you all can see what our goals are for the community. And if anyone wants to get involved and they're not involved yet, you can jump in Slack. We've also got all kinds of good stuff that we're going to talk about right now. So Ilnardo, paging Ilnardo to the stage. I think you got to turn on your video, Ivan.
Yep.
There he is.
There we go.
There he is. What's happening, man? It's good to have you.
I'm fine. And you? I see you're having fun. I see you having fun. So
I am. I totally am. So let's start it off. You want to ask me questions first, or you want me to start?
No. I can start actually. So let me say, I would like to know more about the what is MLOps community. So what is the goal? So if you could spend some words about the community itself and the initiative that we are going to plan.
So great question. I like where your head's at. I'll try and answer that to the best of my ability. The MLOps community is a place where all of this stuff that we've been talking about over the last 2 days, we are talking about it every day, 24/7. And we have all kinds of different initiatives that I'll get into in a minute. But the main place where people can come and they can ask questions is in our Slack. Then we've also got meetups every week. And this is really like, what I feel like is that there's a lot of emphasis right now in machine learning that's being put on the model building. And we've all seen that famous Google photo that shows how important model building is, and then how there's all those other pieces of the puzzle that go with it. And that's really what we're trying to do, is really demystify the space, because I think there's a lot of hype around MLOps right now. And so helping people navigate this space, and it's not just me, luckily, because if it was just me, I don't think there would be that much value besides like a few little guitar playing. But we've got smart people like you, Ivan, that are in it, and you're able to share your wisdom. You're somebody that, you have a long history of working with MLOps, and then there's thousands of other people like you that are in there, and they're very, very kind with their time and their knowledge. So yeah, that's it.
So it sounds to me that you are working on something that allow people to access a kind of knowledge hub on MLOps, because as you mentioned, there are a lot of information out there. Maybe it could be tricky to navigate about this topic. Have you planned it?
Yeah, that's definitely what we're trying to do. Knowledge hub, and just help people like have a place to land and have a place to go more in depth, from like the beginner to the most advanced. I will say that it's a community, and these things take work. So we are trying to work on that. We're trying to create places that people can come and learn about their specific problems, but also learn about the general trends in this space. So you want me to ask you one now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So, well, maybe I should explain, before I even ask you one, I should talk about these different initiatives that we have and what we're doing in the community. And then I'll ask you about the engineering labs, which is a specific initiative. The initiatives that we have right now, like I mentioned, we have like Slack, which is probably very, very popular among all the community members. We've also got the meetups, which are happening every week on Wednesday. And we get people that you've seen on here, like a lot of people that I've been talking to and that we've had come on to this conference. They've come on to the MLOps community meetup and they've talked to us, which is incredible to have like legends like Lack or Todd who have been on the meetup, or we also have a podcast. And so we've got the podcast. We'll put all the links to all of this in to Slack in a minute, into the Apply Slack. And then we've got reading groups. So there's some really cool people. What I think is really cool is that people started just suggesting, hey, I want to do this with the community. Hey, I want to do that. And then it just snowballed, and it took a little bit of like, it has a mind of its own now. And you were one of those people that suggested you wanted to do the engineering labs. So we'll get to the engineering labs in a minute, but right now we've got reading groups. We've got like women of MLOps, which Aparna is kind of leading on that, who was just on here. And then we've got open office hours. We've also got the engineering labs. So let's talk about the engineering labs. What exactly, Leonardo, are the engineering labs?
Yeah, I'll try to explain in few words. So essentially, Engineering Labs is a community project where each people has the opportunity to join a team and work together on solving a particular machine learning engineering challenge. So actually, I started this initiative because when I joined the MLOps community, as you remember, I was thinking about how I can contribute in MLOps community, just you mentioned so far. So I asked myself, what another way to support people? So if, for example, if a new person joined the community, how can I turn all this knowledge that we start to share in the community in something that can help the people itself to solve most common MLOps challenges and in a concrete way. And so I find this answer in the Engineering Lab initiative.
Yeah, I love that the engineering labs are a way for people to get hands-on experience with stuff that they're not necessarily working on at work, or if they are just coming out of school, right? They get a chance to practice with teams that are based all over the world. But don't let me steal your thunder. I'm going to ask you more questions. There's just so much stuff I love about what you are doing with the engineering labs. I think it's awesome, and I really appreciate that you're doing it. So we've done 2 engineering labs so far, right? The first one,
correct,
and now we're on the second one. Can you explain the 2 of them and what each of them are?
Yeah, sure. So let me say, the first one, the first engineering lab was a kind of a starting point. So we just let me say, ask people to build machine learning pipeline using just 2 tools, MLflow and PyTorch serve, because actually this topic came out during several conversations that we have in the community. People just ask, okay, I know that MLflow and PyTorch now can let me say, they can create this hand-to-hand. So I would like to know more how to deploy a PyTorch model using MLflow framework. And so that's how the first engineering labs starts. But then when we end the first engineering lab, we work hard to collect feedback from the people that join the first lab. And so we learn a lot from this feedback. And this is a point that I would like to highlight, because it's a kind of learning process. And so based on their feedback, we structured the new engineering labs in 6 steps. So maybe I can spend some word, because essentially now it's really simple to join the initiative. We provide a subscription form that we use to collect information about the people that want to join, their background, and everything is useful for us to create teams. And then we let the community vote ML engineering content to, let's say, to use in the lab. And so once we know the results of the vote, we have this process of onboarding calls with teams, where we share the content, the goal of the lab, we provide metrics and the scope of the lab, and also, because it's important to mention, the prize that the team that is going to win the contest will receive. And so then you have 6 weeks to solve the ML challenge that we propose you in the lab, and building your own engineering lab solution. As I mentioned, at the end, you're going to have a context, and the team that wins get the opportunity to present in one of the MLOps conference that, thanks for the MLOps community, we are able to join. So, for example, in this, the next, I mean, the engineering lab we having now, the team that is going to win is going to be on the stage of MLOps World Conference. So
Yeah.
that's something that, I mean, it's amazing, because you work to have fun, you collaborate on a really interesting topics, and then at the end you get this great opportunity to present what you are going to do.
Yep. And I think that's all the time we got, because I blabbed on a little bit too much at the beginning, but I will mention too, we also took feedback from people from the first labs, and we have like experts that are coming in and they're giving talks. So some of the people that you've seen in this conference are going to be giving talks to the teams to help them. How do they structure? How do they create data products? How are they looking at like the different, this actually just randomly, this one that we're doing right now is all about feature stores. So we're going to have people to come in and talk about feature stores. Now that's it. Ivan, I got to kick you off, man, because we just went over time, but thank you for coming on here and explaining about the engineering labs. If anyone wants to get involved in the engineering labs, I encourage you to do so. Like, just reach out to Ivan or I. In his name on Slack is Ilnardo, and we'll give you all the information.